So in this video, I would like to explain the remaining special constructions with object pronouns that are left in the accusative, instrumental, and prepositional cases. In my two previous videos, I explained the remaining functions of the genitive and dative and how object pronouns must be used in some cases. In this video, I'll finish the remaining special constructions with object pronouns in the accusative, instrumental, and prepositional. Here, it's going to be more difficult to connect object pronouns with the remaining cases, so instead, I'll elaborate more on the uses of the cases that I did not cover in my first videos about Russian. Even though I mentioned them, I'll try my best to connect object pronouns wherever I can to any case that I can. Let's begin with the accusative. The main use of the accusative is animate and inanimate objects that are all direct, while its minor functions are the outside states of subjects and circumstantial functioning. Direct animate and inanimate objects are something I covered many times, so this time I'll give a new approach to object pronouns in the accusative. Despite being used many times, we can have sentences that we did not have previously, like ones that have gender and quantity. Важно купить дом. Важно купить машину. Важно купить окно and важно покупать дома. These sentences are in the accusative and the nouns within them are also in the accusative. The masculine and neuter don't change grammatically, but the feminine and plural have to change. Also, the verb купить changes to покупать to give a different literal meaning. Still, each noun has a different gender, but we can replace them with object pronouns, like важно купить его, ее, его, and их. Now, the meaning is, it's important to buy it or them, which can be его and ее, and if it's plural, the object pronoun is ich. The second function of the accusative is an outside state of a subject. An outside state of a subject is a state that has outside forces that do not have any involvement in the subject, and it can be in a sentence like меня тошнит. I am nauseated. Just by looking at the phrase, it doesn't make sense that this is the translation, because the construction is different. As a native Russian speaker, the closest connection that I can make to English is something like me, it's nauseating. Even so, it's better to rephrase it so it perfectly connects with English. Тошнит меня. It's nauseating me. It doesn't really mean I am nauseated as much as it's nauseating me. The same thing could be done with different object pronouns like he is nauseated. Тошнит его. It's nauseating him. She is nauseated. Тошнит ее. It's nauseating her. Of course, nobody speaks like this, so we need a better translation. An outside state of a subject is actually a very difficult concept to understand, so generally, I do not recommend focusing on it. The last function of the accusative is a circumstantial function with a preposition. Circumstantial functioning indicates the circumstances of spatial direction, time, and other details. Generally, it's not used that much, but a useful phrase can be we gather into a circle. Мы собираемся в круг. Мы is the subject, собираемся is a conjugated reflexive verb for the pronoun мы, and в круг is the accusative masculine object that doesn't change. Using an object pronoun, we'll have we gather into it. Мы собираемся в него. Because круг is a masculine noun, its object pronoun will be его. And because we have a preposition before it, we cannot forget about the consonant N. This is also a very difficult concept to understand, so I do not recommend focusing on it. If anything, the best way to use the accusative is direct object pronouns, so that's about it. Let's continue with the instrumental. The main use of the instrumental is when an action is done using an instrument, and the best preposition to use is with, which is s. However, the instrumental can be tedious because it has more functions than any other case, and you should always know that all functions in the instrumental somehow relate to an action being performed with an instrument, and you're about to see how. The first function is the preposition s, which is performed with an instrument. Adam walks with me, you, him, her, us, y'all, and them. Адам ходит со мной, с тобой, с ним, с ней, с нами, с вами, and с ними. Even though I already gave these examples, it's now better to show them again. The second function of the instrumental is the means by which something is done. An example of that can be Я люблю рисовать красивыми цветами. I love to paint with beautiful colors, which explains the means by which something is done. This sentence doesn't necessarily use the preposition with as much as the word using. I love to paint using beautiful colors. In Russian, you don't need the word using because we already know that the sentence expresses an action performed with an instrument. At the same time, we can replace it with an object pronoun. Я люблю рисовать ими. I love to paint using them. Here, we have an agent. An agent shows when something is made by someone or using someone, again relating to an action being performed with an instrument. План был создан Адамом. The plan was done by Adam or using Adam. This example shows an agent, and we can replace it with an object pronoun. План был создан им. The plan was done by him or using him. Here, we have a reason. A reason is mainly used with special verbs that already connect to some form of an action being performed with an instrument. Personally, I cannot think of too many of them, but a useful one is болеть, meaning to be sick with. Я болею гриппом. I am sick with the flu. We can replace it with an object pronoun, which would be Я болею им. I am sick with it. In this case, we don't need the preposition with in Russian because we know that it's instrumental. Here, we have a measurement. A measurement describes an action as a quantity, which means that nouns, in this case, will always be plural. Письма приходят пачками. Letters come in packs. Вода доставляется литрами. Water gets delivered in liters. It's impossible to connect object pronouns here, and even then, it's a concept that is not used that often, so I do not recommend focusing on it. Here, we have a comparison. A comparison is often used figuratively, like in idioms, similes, and new phrases, but not conversationally. Он вылетел оттуда пулей. He flew out of there like a bullet. This function is very difficult to understand, and there are not many possible applications with it, so I don't recommend focusing on it. Here, we have time. Time is actually a function in the genitive that uses cardinal numbers. But in this case, we have time in the instrumental, so do not confuse them. Time in the instrumental is used with singular nouns depicting a single moment in time, along with plural nouns that describe a repeating action in time. Утром они отправились. In the morning, they set off. Поздно ночью они ушли. Late at night, they left. This function is also very difficult to understand, and there are not many possible applications with it, so I don't recommend focusing on it. Here, we have a trajectory. This function is used when describing the trajectory of someone's journey, and it can be used with verbs that already have an instrumental function, like ехать, to drive or ride, and идти, to go or walk. Мне нужно идти пешком. I need to go by foot. Мне нужно ехать машиной. I need to ride by car. In these examples, we're using the dative construction мне нужно and then completing it with an instrumental one. Here, we have the last function of the instrumental, which is special prepositions. Special prepositions in the instrumental are ones that already relate to an action being performed with an instrument, like behind, between, over or above, in front of, and under. These prepositions are special because they already have an instrumental function. Plus, they go very well with object pronouns. Here, we have the preposition behind, meaning за, which has an instrumental function. Адам за мной, тобой, ним, ней, нами, вами и ними. Adam is behind me, you, him, her, us, y'all, and them. Because we're using a preposition, don't forget about the consonant N in the on, ona, and oni pronouns. Here, we have the instrumental preposition between, meaning между. Адам между мной и тобой. Adam is between me and you. Адам между ним и ними. Adam is between him and them. Адам между нами и вами. Adam is between us and y'all. Don't forget about the consonant N. Here, we have the instrumental preposition over or above, meaning над. Adam надо мной и тобой. Adam is above me and you. Adam над ним и ними. Adam is above him and them. Adam над нами и вами. Adam is above us and y'all. Don't forget about the consonant N. And also, this is where some examples will be nonsensical. But again, this video is on the remaining uses of the cases and special constructions with object pronouns. Here, we have the instrumental preposition under, meaning pod. Adam podo mной и тобой. Adam is under me and you. Adam pod nim и nimi. Adam is under him and them. Adam pod nami и вами. Adam is under us and y'all. Don't forget about the consonant N. Here, we have the instrumental phrase in front of, meaning перед. Adam передо мной и тобой. Adam is in front of me and you. Adam перед ним и ними. Adam is in front of him and them. Adam перед нами и вами. Adam is in front of us and y'all. Don't forget about the consonant N. Finally, let's finish with the prepositional. The main use of the prepositional is prepositions and verbs that relate to speech, thought, and emotional state. However, the prepositional works with prepositions when an object is accompanied by special prepositions, like na, on, v, in, and o, about, which is the most common one. The reason the prepositional uses these prepositions is to reserve locations in which the respective action or state is fully contained. That's why some prepositions connect to different questions in different cases, but others remain in one case. Anyhow, rather than show individual examples of each preposition, examples can be made using special prepositions by directly putting them into verbs related to speech, thought, and emotional state. In other words, the following examples will be combined with special verbs and prepositions, so that way it's better to understand how to use them. Here, we have special verbs related to speech. Personally, I cannot think of that many verbs that are related to speech, but a useful one can be говорить о, speak about. Adam speaks about me, you, him, her, us, y'all, and them. Adam говорит обо мне, о тебе, о нем, о ней, о нас, о вас и о них. I already gave this example, but it's better to show it again because now you know that the verb говорить о is the verb that is related to speech. Also, the consonant N is automatically placed in the on, ona, and oni pronouns because there is already a preposition. Here, we have special verbs related to thought, like думать о, think about, and забывать о, forget about. A good example of that can be Я думаю о тебе, о нем и о ней. I think about you, him and her. Ты забыл о нас и о них. You forgot about us and them. The consonant N is automatically placed. Here, we have special verbs related to emotional state. Personally, I cannot think of that many verbs that relate to emotional state, but a useful one can be беспокоиться о, to worry about. This is a reflexive verb ending in sa, and it's a concept for a future video, but still, using it will not hurt anybody. Адам беспокоится обо мне, о тебе, о нем, о ней, о нас, о вас и о них. Adam worries about me, you, him, her, us, y'all, and them. At last, let's finish the prepositional with the remaining prepositions. Here, we have the preposition v, which is in, and in this case, we're using nouns of all genders and quantity. Adam is in the house. Adam в доме. Adam is in the car. Adam в машине. Adam is in the building. Adam в здании. Adam is in the houses. Adam в домах. The last sentence doesn't make sense, but again, we're focusing on prepositions. We can replace every noun with an object pronoun considering the genders, like Adam в нем, Adam в ней, Adam в нем, and Adam в них. The consonant N is automatically placed. Here, we have the preposition na, which is on, and all of these examples somewhat do not make sense. Adam is on the house. Adam на доме. Adam is on the car. Adam на машине. Adam is on the building. Adam на здании. Adam is on the houses. Adam на домах. We can replace every noun with an object pronoun considering the genders, like Adam на нем, Adam на ней, Adam на нем, and Adam на них. This is how prepositions and special verbs work with object pronouns in the prepositional. In conclusion, this is how the 6 Russian cases work with object pronouns in every special and impersonal construction. Throughout these videos, I completely dedicated my time to explaining the remaining functions of the 6 cases, how object pronouns work with them, and what special constructions each case has. This accomplishment was the completion of every construction, function, and exception that is needed to understand the 6 Russian cases, like what to know about them, when to use them, and how to use them. The next topics on Russian will be much simpler, because starting now, there is no need to continue explaining the 6 cases, which took a very long time to teach. The 6 Russian cases are by far the hardest thing about Russian, and because I finished covering them along with impersonal constructions and object pronouns, everything onward will be faster and simpler to understand.